My name is Robert Gerans, and in this video I will demonstrate you the VL1 Expert controller. You might know the Yamaha VL1 synthesizer was known for its enormous complexity, and Yamaha decided to hide most or many of these parameters behind the surface of the synthesizer. And they developed a special editor, a so-called expert editor, running on a Macintosh, Apple Macintosh. And there were some experts who are able to change and to make new sounds with this editor. Now, with this hardware controller, you're able to change these special parameters and all parameters of the VL1 as well. And so let me demonstrate how this device is working.
So you have here 16 encoders and the displays in between, where you can see the names of the parameters and the number that is currently set, and a second display on the right side to see more information about corresponding to each page. So if you switch pages, all contents is then updated, like see here's an equalizer or the tuning page. So the workflow is just select one of these pages on the panels, and then you have access to 16 parameters or up to 16 parameters at the same time. Some pages have some help texts, so if you need more information about the most complicated parameters, you can read the text here. You will recognize the physical model, driver, pipe, and modifier, so you see how the sound goes through the instrument and you can understand the workflow. You have the effects parameters and the controllers, and additionally setups for global setups you can change here, like the mixer and aftertouch stuff and so for the overall. And each time you press a button, you see the parameters are changing. Now let's dive into the driver pages. The group in this group you have the throat and pressure of the envelope generators. And once you have selected, you see the parameters for the envelope generator or for the e.g. for the embouchure or pitch. You see here a double sharp sign. If you press it, you come into the key scaling mode. In this, has two key scalings. You can change the position or the key and the offset. Other parameters have more than two. Let's search one. This, for example, has 5 breakpoints, and you can also select them. You can say, okay, this key 5, and yeah, now we have separated the key scalings, and we can then change the offsets for this point. Let's search one with more parameters. Let's say this one has 8 offset breakpoints, and you can easily access to them and modify. There are even parameters with up to 16 breakpoints. Then you have 2 pages to select from. Here is a pipe box. You can also have access to the envelope generator of the vibrato LFO. You can change it instantly by dialing the numbers. And you can see how the display is changing. Let's say this is a sustain level. And here's a mixer parameters, pipe output, tap output, driver output. And here is the physics. You see the actual pipe. If you change the short length, for example, you see in the diagram or in the graphics how the model is changing, and you get an idea what is going on by changing this one. First, here's the absorption. You see how the flare is changing, and yeah, it's understandable what are you doing here. Here, this is the tuning page where you see how the length of the pipe is changed according to the key. And you have separate modes here, manual tuning and automatic tuning. Then the last boxes here is you have 3 effects in the VL1, modulation, delay and reverb. Each has its own frames you can select from and select a reverb type and have easy access to them. Then here is the control group. The VL1 has 16 destinations and these are divided into 4 frames here. In this display you see the current assignments of the controllers to these 16 destinations, and you can define them here. You can select different control numbers and the depths and the curve of it. And here is a global view for the remaining points, common parameters like the mode. You have here the monophonic mode or polyphonic mode, or you can rename the voices and the elements and all that stuff here. So that is a mixer for element 1, element 2. You can select the volume, the transpose, portamento, and on the display you see left the element 1 and right element 2. I have a fast overview what is all going on there. On the file page you can save lots of voices onto the internal SD card. You have up to 20 directories where you can select from, select a file, and then you can load the file or save it. You can copy in between element 2 and element 1 and send and receive. The global group also has a MIDI looper, so I'm pressing now record and I'm playing a small sequence on the VL1 keyboard. Can't see it now, but now stop, repeat. So it's playing again, the loop. Now I'm pressing record again and it goes now into overdub mode. So adding some bass line, some pitch bend. So the loop is now in the third pass, adding some chords. Okay, then stop and play. So now I'm in the play mode of this looper. And now while this looper is playing in the background, I can now continue editing the voice, changing something in the physics. Let's say the read. It's got now a bit detuned. I can listen and I can fully concentrate on the patch editing. That's the looper. Here we have a monophonic voice, and now I'm using the polychain mechanism as switch it on, and the controller automatically configures both VL1s on the right side and the left side together, so I'm able to play 4-voice polyphonic. Just one turn of a button and everything is now polyphonic. 4-voice. The controller also has a possibility to morph between element 1 and element 2, a feature that doesn't exist on the VL1 normally. So you can morph in between element 1 and 2 by using this morph button. And all parameters in between are then morphed between both elements. You can also assign this morph to a CC controller, so you can play the CC morphing from your keyboard. And then you have 4 different groups where you can selectively select which kinds of parameters are morphed between. So you can morph the driver, you can physics and the pipe and the modifier can be separately morphed. And additionally, you can then selectively copy certain pages from element 1 to element 3. So yeah, now I've copied the read page from element 2 to element 1, and so I can make my experiment with that. I've chained 2 VL1s together for 4-channel polyphonic sounds. And now I'm morphing in between element 1 and element 2. And I've assigned the controller, the third controller from the left, for the morphing.